Hey guys, it is April 10th, 35 degrees, 12:36 here in Hafer-Albaten, and today I'm going to have another Kickstarter conversation about why I stopped backing Kickstarters. Like I said before, I have backed 13 projects, and what really stopped me from backing Kickstarters is the quality of the goods. Now, I really respect all designers and creators a lot for doing what they do, but when you come to Kickstarter, like many people have said before me, you really need to make sure your product is just as good as if you would have gone through another way of publishing. And this most often is not true. And it was two games that kicked me off of Kickstarter. Now, I still check it from time to time, but I am no longer so obliged to hit that pledge button. And the two games that kicked me off of Kickstarter was, one, this will be a shocker, Tiny Epic Kingdom and Pocket Dungeon Quest. Now, the Tiny Epic series is very famous in the designer board gaming world. They've come out with other games such as Tiny Epic Galaxies and their newest one, Tiny Epic Western. They even have a Tiny Epic Defender. Now, I was really infatuated, in love with the entire idea of a pocket game. Played Love Letter, really liked Love Letter, and said, hey, like a small 4X game with player powers, and board's going to be different every time. That seems really cool. And I backed it. I even bought it for a friend, so I got 2 copies of the game. And we sat down, we played it, we're super excited. And everybody's response was, huh. And then we played it again, and everybody was like, huh. And for all the hype, it just seemed like the game was underdeveloped. It wasn't thought through. And I say this because every time someone got up to their turn and they would choose their action, everyone said the same thing. I feel like I'm punished for getting to go. And I never feel like I'm getting anything special because it's my turn. This is the exact opposite of how Puerto Rico is. And it's the same exact mechanic. That in Puerto Rico you pick something to do, but you get a bonus or a boon for choosing that thing, and everyone gets a lesser boon, but still the same action, or just they get the action, no boon. And in Tiny Epic Kingdoms, you just got to do the action. You got a teeny bit more, and it just wasn't worth it. And all said and done, the game just doesn't deliver on what it promises. It's tiny, that's for sure, but it's not epic, and I don't ever feel like I'm building any kind of kingdom. The warfare is completely superfluous, and actually the warfare is the worst thing you can do in this 4X game, which makes no sense because warfare is supposed to be a big deal in 4X games. So that was my disappointment with Tiny Epic Kingdom. And the bits were fine, the board was fine, small. So let's talk about Pocket Dungeon Quest. Again, small game, trying to deliver. And with Pocket Dungeon Quest, it's a tile game, and I like tile laying games, such as Carcassonne, Alhambra, etc. And you put all these tiles out, and then and that's the dungeon, and you explore the dungeon. And it's a cooperative game, which is really cool. I'm not really into cooperative games so much, but hey, I got this for my Pipe Game Club, and I said, hey, they like to play together, so this is a little dungeon thing. They get a little player power. Same thing with Tiny Epic Kingdom. The problem with Pocket Dungeon Quest, it was so random. There was no real way of actually delineating what you were doing from turn to turn. So much so that people asked me if there was some kind of mat that went with the game, or some little area where they could place their stuff. Nope, nothing. And now they finally come out with a mat. Well, too little too late. The tiles are small. The action sequence is unclear, and I even wrote a letter to the designer and made my problems very clear, and he told me I was wrong and there's nothing wrong with the action selection sequence, the action sequence of the game. And when someone says, hey, I need some help, I don't understand this, and he says, there is no problem, well, now we have a bigger problem. So, Pocket Dungeon Quest, a very simple game. They both arrived, I want to say, pretty much on time, but the game was lackluster or just bad. And Pocket Dungeon Quest was just bad. I feel that it just needed to be played more. I feel that there needed to be more input on game design from other people. It seemed like a single person was doing a thing by himself in a bubble. And I know this is not true for all, as a student. I know that all designers do not design in a bubble, and I know that saying I'm not going to back you on the Kickstarter because of these two bad experiences, and I haven't. I only now back reprints or games that are being made again, but better. But again, it only takes to be burned one or two times for you to say, I'm not going to shop there anymore. And Kickstarter is a great outlet, but to put your product on there, it needs to be just as good as if it went through another source. Now, in contrary to that, I do not mind waiting for the Kickstarter games. I don't mind if they're late. For example, today is April 10th. I was supposed to get a game the end of November. I'm not angry because I know the game is going to be awesome. I know that Academy Games is going to deliver, just like they delivered with Thief, my number 2 game, an amazing product. So I'm not worried. And there's a lot of people chatting about stop showing us pictures of you playing the game and deliver the game. But if someone takes the time to make a superb product with superb pieces and superb gaming with tons of extras just for you, you should be happy. Now maybe it's late, okay, fine. But would you rather have a crappy game or a game that you're never going to play deliver on time, or a game that you're going to play again and again for years upon years and have to wait 5 or 6 or 7 months extra? For me, it's not even a question. I'd much rather have the better game. Alright guys, hope you're having a great day. Talk to you later.